guys, so today we are not going to look at that song, but I'm sure you recognise it. Today we're actually going to look at altering chords to make them sound a little bit different. So that song in the intro was of course Wonderwall by Oasis, and I'm sure loads of you have learnt that song before. The interesting thing about this song is it actually uses these suspended chords all the way through, in that we actually play essentially a G5, but it's ever so slightly altered for each chord. So we always keep our fingers on the high G and the high D, but R, E, G, D, A, they're all similar. Why might you want to do this? Number one, it kind of makes those chords sound a little bit more interesting than if we just went E minor, G major, D major, A major. And number two, it kind of ties them all together, which works really well for the song. Now you can do this yourself. There's loads and loads of ways you can alter chords, and today we're going to have a look at just 3 really simple ways of altering a chord, and hopefully you can have a go at putting them into your compositions. The first way you might do that, and one of the easiest, is you might get your chord shape, say a G, and instead of strumming the chord straight away normally, you might hammer on one of your fingers. So maybe we're going to hammer on the A string to the B. Really, really simple, sounds good. Or maybe we're going to hammer on with the D string and we'll hammer it onto a sus. That's really, really common. You've probably heard that one loads of times. You've definitely heard it loads of times if you've been listening to me. But you can do it with any chord. That was our A minor, and we're just hammering onto the C. It's really easy to adapt this and get it to fit. Some chords it won't work, some chords it will. It's really down to your discretion to pick. The second way we can alter the way chords sound is by playing less of the chord. Say we've got our faithful G again. What we might do, rather than strumming all the strings, you might just strum the top 3. Top 5. It gives it a slightly different sound. It actually can make it into a slash chord, so that could be G/B. We've got a B in our bass rather than just the G. And it works really well with a lot of chords. So even things like D or A minor. And it works really well with bar chords. So if you need to play a bar chord, but you hate playing bar chords, you can literally just play the top 4 strings. Becomes a much lighter chord, nowhere near as powerful. It's really worth experimenting with and seeing what you can find to fit your songs. And the last way we're going to have a look at chords is actually by changing the bass note. This goes back to what I was talking about in the first one with our slash chords. The chord that you've probably come over that does this the most is D/F sharp, which is the one where we play D and then we hook our thumb over the top. That's a really common one. If you've done that like Jeff Buckley thing, the Hallelujah, you might have gotten that. There I used a few of the techniques we've talked about, or you might have done it in C. This technique works really well in that you can create a bass line to go along with your chords, and especially if you haven't got a bass player to play with you, it kind of gives your chords a bit of movement in a direction. So like in that Jeff Buckley song, Hallelujah, the bass line's going C, then it's going B, A, and then back the other way, so A, B, C. Just gives a little bit more interest in what would normally be. Once again, this comes down to a lot of experimenting, seeing what you like the sound of. There's not really a right or wrong. You'll be able to tell what sounds good, what sounds bad. Use your instinct Your instinct is normally right, especially when it comes to music. So really trust yourself and have a go at using some of these techniques to make some of your chord progressions more interesting. Now, the best way of doing this is probably to get a song that you already know with a chord progression, sing over the top of it, and then see if you can make it a bit more interesting by adapting those chords and giving them a bit of a different feel. This is what you normally hear when you listen to an acoustic version of a song or a cover of a song that sounds a bit different. They've adapted the chords. They're still the same chords, but they've just changed the tonality of them to make it sound a bit more interesting. We'll give it a go, and if you've got any questions, put them in the comments below and I'll be sure to answer them. See you later, guys. Bye.